A very good morning to you all. I've been quite busy, unavailable to do video before now. So this is going to be a recap and an update of where we are on Euro USD. I've said so many things about being careful. I've said so many things about understanding structure. I said so many things about knowing exactly where or the areas you want to plot your entry and to see what is exactly happening. Let's do a quick recap before I go inside of the structure. Let me go back to the monthly, which we are aware that we have been on this monthly trend for, this is like a cycle, which I had explained with 1 and 2 of this cycle, this big cycle, which is 1 and 2 here, that we now have first of the 3 of that cycle and the second of the 3, and before we finished all of the third of the 3, the fourth and the 5th, to end the bigger cycle with 3, and that we are on a wave 4, that we've done a wave 4 of the bigger cycle of the 3, and that we believe that we are running maybe one of the last structure that we need to do of the last wave of 5, that which is the 3rd, and we are doing a 4th in respect to this wave. So, and where this one would exactly get exhausted is another thing entirely. So obviously we are correcting a wave 4 in relation to this particular wave that we are seeing here. Either you take this one as a 4th, and this is 5-1, 5-2, and a 5-3, and a 5-4, or you take this one as a triad of 4, 1, 2, 3. Then we now begin to do 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4. There is just a little difference between the two possibilities. Let me come again. You could take this one as the 4th after this 3rd wave. You can take this one, that's a cycle now. You can take this one as the 4th wave, and that's all. And you now say, okay, the last wave now, which is going to run in 5 waves, will now be 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. That's a way of looking at it. Or you could take this as entirely a 4th wave, which is 1, A, B, and a C. And the 4th wave is ended, and we're now seeing the inside of this structure as the potential, the 5th wave, which is going to end, which is 1, 2, a 3, and a 4. And after this 4, we're going to run down to do a 5. Now, even if we are running a 4th now, since this is the 3rd wave and we are running a 4th, definitely it's obvious that this is the 4th wave. Either you look at it in this fashion, 1, 2, and a 3, or you look at it 1, a 2, and the whole of this a 3. And so we're going to have a 4th in relation to 1 and 2, and not A, B, C. So those are 2 possibilities. So either way, so we are seeing that we are almost gradually getting to the end of this wave, and before we turn down to do with 5. Now, in terms of RSI and what you expect, now that with 5, once it's coming, we of course break the low of this, and once the low of this is broken, we will turn up. But in terms of RSI, we wouldn't expect this with 5 coming down to break the low on RSI. That is what I want to show us. Now, let me bring out what I showed us on RSI one time. I said at what point we need to let me take this out first, if it's going to come up. Okay, it won't come up, not until okay, let me bring it out. Now, okay, this is it. Just hold on for a minute. I think it's on the weekly chart that I showed us. I think it's on the weekly chart that I showed us. Yeah, it's on the weekly chart. Okay, so we can see now. I remember that I was trying to tell us that the difference between here and here, what we are seeing, and this one was the height of it, and we had a low here. So, which signifies that this may just be the beginning of that wave to the downside. And we add this divergence for more push to the downside. Now, we believe that in the middle, we are finished with 3 of that very last move here. So, and we saw what happens here. And this is the low of it here. Then I remember I was telling us that the low of here and the 5th wave should not go below. So this is the 5th wave of the 3rd one, which ended at this level, this particular where I had my finger. So that is the 5th wave. And the 3rd wave, which was probably higher up in terms of pips, it's lower on the RSI. Now, and I said that we may be probably witnessing ending structure of the wave 3, and where we had the 3rd wave, the 4th of the wave, sorry, where is it now? Okay, here. So here, then that the day we broke out of this particular, because I linked this together, the day we broke out of here, which is the weekly, and I annotated it with, is it orange now? Yeah, or golden yellow. So we broke out successfully out of here. So which means these had marked the end of wave 3 of this long move that went for how many years now? That started since January 2021 till around here, which is around October or so, no, sorry, around, September 26th. So it ended, that was well over about a year and a half. So that ended. And so that this breakout of here, as you can see, is a sharp breakout, quite impulsive. So broke out of here. But if you see the way and manner it broke out to, in terms of reactions from RSI, so it's a huge move to the upside. But in terms of the pips value, if you correspond, if you try to probably correlate this move and here, pips value is low. But in terms of reaction of RSI, you can see that it's almost even getting to the peak of here. So, but that is the way RSI, how to interpret and how to now. So we broke this divergence here, and I said, again, we will need to break this on the daily. So once we break this on the daily, we may be saying that, okay, something is happening. So this is the area that also we are looking for to break on the daily. If you can see, on the weekly, I drew this, that it's the first thing I want to see breaking this, that we're likely going to break this broken line, but we want to see this as a ceiling yet to decide what we're going to do. So, of course, it's obvious that this is wave 4 with this break. But if you think it's a reversal, no, I don't think it's a reversal. Price will not just reverse that way. I don't think it's a reversal. So we need to see a deep correction. So on the daily, how is it looking like? On the daily, that is the way it's looking like. So we are seeing this one taken out, and we are seeing consolidation just above this line on the daily. So I haven't done that on the RSI on the weekly. So let me go back to what I'm trying to teach us. Let's take this off. Now, Now I believe that we are seeing an ending structure on the daily. We are seeing an ending structure, and in this ending structure, this has probably run like a 5-wave structure now. That's run like a 5-wave structure now. So this is wave 1, and the wave 2 in the middle, A, B, and a C. Because that's one thing about wave and the way it can play out. When it went up like this, you might just say, okay, probably that's the end of a 4, and we are starting a 5, but immediately we saw changes here. I told us that I think there's a change in the middle, and it went up, it came down. So we were thinking of a double correction, and that we're going to see this one as an A and an extension here as 100 extension from here, and probably will stop here to come down. So that is not what had played out. So this one is going up as a 5-wave structure. So, and in this 5-wave structure, we have seen this as an a 1, and the base of a 2, and here is a 3, and this is the 4th. And we're finishing the 5th wave up now. So that's how to look at it. 1 wave, 2 wave, 3 wave, the 4th wave, and we are finishing the 5th wave. So it's going to run as a 5-wave structure. Now, because it's running as a 5-wave structure does not mean that now we have changed the direction. So we must understand that. But because this one has run like a 5-wave structure, also tells me that we are still going to be doing a messy move, which means that I would expect the entire move here to correct like a 3-wave to the downside, 1, 2, and a 3, before we rally up again. So when we rally up again, so we are going to be seeing a formation of a zigzag. I think I did a video, maybe the last week video or something. So we might be seeing a zigzag, whereby this one comes up here to finish here, and we'll see a deep correction of a B, which is an A, where this move will be an A, if it's going to turn down somewhere around this area or around this area, I don't know. So where that is going to be an A, so this one had changed. So it didn't play out like a zigzag. So I'm taking that out. So that's the next possibility. What we are saying is what I want to show us. That will be an A, and this will be probably a deep correction. Maybe a deep correction. You can get to this point. Yes, it may get to that point. Then before we now have another equal leg to the upside. So in that equal leg, we may now see this. We may now see this. We may now see that. We may now see this. So as the equal leg to finish this wave. So which may be around the area that I pointed on but we need to see how this one will correct first. So this is what we are looking for. So we had missed all the chances here, but we are looking for this earnestly, not to miss it. And so once we get to the end of this one, we'll be looking for a move to the upside to break up again and to finish this before we now turn with 5 down to finish this with 5, which we had been anticipating. So in terms of once we are coming down, then we'll get there. So it's still a long way to go. It's a long way to go, but we need to finish this one first to know how we're going to navigate down. So even if we get to the height of that, at least we'll expect a correction, a deep correction, yeah, around 50 to 61.8. So around this area, but let's finish this one first. So we can't be jumping the gun. So I'm just trying to show us what to expect. These have been loaded. So that, let me even take that out so that it's not messed up. Okay, so now we are looking at possibilities and what is going to be, what we're going to get. Okay, so let me take the drawings off again. So now I believe that we are doing an ending structure. So whereby this is the first move, which is the fourth wave. And if we take this one as 1 and 2 and a 3, this is the fourth wave. Now we're now doing the final wave, which is wave 5 to the upside, and probably it's going to run on the daily as also like a 5-wave structure on a smaller daily. Okay, so this is one of it, which is 2. I believe this is wave 1, and this is 2 of the ending structure. We are almost getting to the end of the third of that ending structure. We're going to come down again to do 4 and 5. So the 5 may break the height of this one or not. So that is where we want to see, and that is what I want us to understand. So 1, the ABC of 2, and the third wave, which ended here. This is an ending structure for the third wave here, of this third wave here. Then we now have the 5th wave. Now, after this 5th wave, sorry, the 4th wave rather, after the 4th wave. So we are seeing the 5th wave. And in the 5th wave, that's where we now begin to count the ending structure, where we have the first one, the 2, and the 3. Of course, this 3 also is giving us an ending structure of itself, which is going to run down. So it's giving an ending structure of itself. If you can read it, count 5 waves of this particular move to the upside, then before we now see a daily 4th of that ending structure and the 5. I think it's from the 4th after the correction. So, and as the price is moving up again to the 5th, that's where we can now find an entry. Looking for an entry, then you might not aim for the top, because you might not get to the top of the third wave if it's an ending structure of a truth. We might not expect that to happen. So let me go inside of the one. Okay, before I go inside of the 1 4-hour, the lower time frame, to look at this structure. Again, another thing to at least aim when we want to correct that leg, this leg. When we want to correct this leg, assuming we are going to go this way and correct this leg, another thing to aim, because you might not want to aim the entire structure here as an A, and the old structure here coming down as a B before we have a C. The best way to look at that would be like this. Let me take this out. The best way to look at that would be like this, to take the whole of this as the 3, the third wave as a 1. So when you take that as a 1, then probably you look at the possibility of correcting this third wave, at least to get a 61.8 of this particular third wave that probably began here, because this is, I believe this is with A, B, C of 2, and in some cases, you might even regard this as 3-1, 3-2, and a 3-3, and a 3-4, and we're doing a 5. So it depends on how you look at this, because this might actually be an ABC before we had a 3. Or you can say this is an A This is 1. This is what? A 2. We now have a 3-1 and a 3-2 and a 3-3, 3-4. Then we're now seeing a 5. So it depends on how we're looking at it. But I would still want to look at it as this is a 1 and the whole of this as a 3 and inside of a 3. So at least we'll see a deep correction from here to the height of this one, at least 6.6, 1.8 or 76 before we do another leg to the upside. So, but we'll get there once we see reaction. So we don't want to buy from here because there's really nothing much to buy again from here. We're looking for a sell, and that sell is what we don't want it to elude us. So, you know, it can be funny, you know, it can be funny. So if I go to the lower time frame now, if I go to the lower time frame, so going into the lower time frame, this is where we are on the 4-hour on the lower time frame. If you want me to probably label it again on this upper time frame, higher time frame, the ending structure, so that you will see clearly. Now, I said this is the 3, 3, 4. So the ending structure starts from here, which is 1 and 2. So if I may use something for the ending structure. Now I want to see a 1. Let me use that, a 1. So I will list it a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5 for the ending structure. So I will now label that from the daily. So what we're saying is that this looks like we are finished. This is like a 1 here that finished up here. And we are doing a 3. To see a 4 before we go to a 5. Then we believe that this is after a 1, this is where the 2 has ended. Let me take this out. Because you have to follow structure. Structure can change. Structure can change. So is a purple. So let me use purple. I'm using the purple now. So a purple and a 2 here, a purple. So we don't need all of this anymore. They have done their work. Let's take them out. Let's take them out. Okay. At least for now, let's take that out. And let me take this also out. Let me take this also out. This also should go out. So I have a clean. Okay, so now, so we have a 1, a 2, then we want to see the end of a 3, where 3 is going to end before we have a 4th. And once we have a 4th, that will be a correction to the downside. And before you now begin to pull up to the height or not to the height of that before we turn down. And turning down, we're going to have a deep correction. So I think And we're still going to use the whole of this week to do this, come down, and by probably weekend, we will get the last push to the upside, then before we have that correction. So that is what it's looking like now. So we need to pay attention to this correction here. This is 1 and a 2 and a 3. Because it's a 1 and a 2 and a 3, so we can look at this base as on the daily to have an idea of where that price may eventually get to. So to have an idea of where that price may eventually get to, purple, to have an idea of at least a 161.8, where this may want to terminate. So if this is from here, the beginning of 1, the end of 1 here, and so which is 2 here for that 3, the third week. So we may see it terminating somewhere here. It could go as far up as this place. That's what we're trying to say now. It could go as far up as this place, which is here. And let's see how price is going to break this structure. If it's going to break it, we're not sure, but I believe that to be on the safe side, so you want to probably look at this place for price to get to this place. So you can see that I put the new stop loss above here, which is above around above here, this blue line. The blue line is 0.78. So I said it's 1.0800. So that's where I put the stop loss for us to see this correction. And if you're going to have a deeper correction, you can exit on your negative, small negative position that you open, then target the last entry once we're probably going up to correct 5. Now, I haven't done this. So this is where we expect that price between this zone here and here, that's where we expect price to probably react. That's where we expect price to react. So we expect at least price to react around between here. So we expect price to react around here, at least around here. And that place. So we expect price to react for 3. We may not get up to all this area, but we expect a reaction around any moment from now. We should expect a reaction around this area. Not until we finish the 3rd wave, we can't get the 4th wave. So now if I now go inside of the once we have 1 and 2 and the 3 is in place, then we have the 4th. We can now draw a trend from 2 to 4 to connect, then 1 to 3 to connect. That will be the price should not break the wedge or the ending structure. And once we have it break into the downside, that means we're coming down. So that's what we're saying. So let me go inside of this 4 hour to look at that structure again. Okay, good. So looking at this structure again here. So we now know that this is what? This is 1 here at this level. So this is 2 at this level. So we may now be using these to get to where 3 is going to get to before we have the 4th. I hope you can see how I'm trying to use that to help because a counting wave at times, you must know that we just add a 3-3, a 3-5, and the fourth wave here before we now begin to see the inside of the last wave of 5. So this is inside of the last wave of 5, which is going to run an ending structure. And so we've seen 1 and the second wave, which is here. You can see the way they manipulated it. It was serious manipulation to have done this, and counting it might be difficult. So now that we are seeing this as a third, so looking at this as a possible third wave is another thing entirely now. So the third wave, before we have the fourth to the downside. So on the 1 hour, to look at this as a third wave on the 1 hour is another thing entirely now. To look at that as, it's not as simple as that. It's a serious business. Looking at this could as well be, okay, let's go inside of 15 minutes, if that would help us. If that would help us, okay, instead of 15 minutes, instead of 15 minutes, we may have seen this one as a 1 and a 2, and inside of a third wave here. So this may just be the third wave, 1 and a 2 of third wave. Probably we might be seeing this as the third of it, and the fourth of the third wave. This might be the third of the first wave. It's a suspect of the third of the fourth wave. If it's going to be third wave, so from the third wave started from here, we will take it up to the height here of where this is the third wave, the height, and yeah, it's almost 50. So you didn't get to 50. So we can see this is the third wave of the the third wave of the fourth wave of the third, and that we're just saying that probably this should pull between, if this is the fourth wave of this new entire wave, if this is the fourth, then the last 5 wave, which is of that 3, should not go beyond 161.8. In that case, what we are saying, if it's going to be 161.8, we are saying that we are expecting that the third wave should at least not stall until it gets around here, which is 06,200 or thereabout. That was why I said I think I should expect this wave to still get to at least 06170. That was why I said that. So that is what I can see here. The move for the purple for the third wave can actually still climb up to this point. At least it has to be at least 61.8. So of course it could be more than 61.8. We know that at least it shouldn't run short of that place for a third wave. It shouldn't run short of that place for a third wave. So of course we might get a reaction there, or it might just go beyond it. It might go beyond it. So that is what we are saying. So we expect a third wave to be at least here. So, and again, if we are proposing that this is this is 1 and 2, and this is 3 and 4, then we are saying this one as a third wave, the fifth wave of the last wave, and which is the fifth of that third wave. Now, so we can begin now to also look at this as a 1 and a 2, and a 3 and a 4. So a whole lot of counting in the middle. So, but counting on the lower time frame can be a bit difficult, and it's not that easy. So, you use the daily to help yourself. So what we are saying now is that at least this third wave should get to this point here. So we might be seeing reaction around this zone. Okay. But again, from what I said, when I did 1 and 2, we don't expect it to go beyond the height here. So we should be looking for a reaction. So once we get a reaction here, then I think that is when you want to probably launch in for your sell. So, and to get your reaction, since it's the third wave that we are doing, this is 1 and a 2, and to see that we break that third wave, the best thing to do in trying to break that third wave is to do this. If you want to break that third wave, this is the best thing to do. At least before you begin to draw any ending structure or whatever. So you want to break that third wave here. So once you break this third wave, then you know you are going for the fourth. This will be something to tell you that you are breaking this third wave. So once we come down, so we are going to break the third wave to do a fourth, then we now proceed to do the fifth. So if you're able to count this, you might just be able to pick the height of the third wave and enter here. But I don't think you're going to enter below here, below 1.06170. It can't be below. It might be above it, but around this area. So that is just my submission here. So I think with that, I may have come to the end of today's video. So go and watch the video and to see how we navigate and finish this ending structure. To see how we end this ending structure of 3. So we may be approaching the area we expect 3. Of course, 3 is going to go beyond here now. It's going to pierce this one. It's not done. It's going to pierce that one. But these are the area, the possible area of where 3 can store. All right.